So let's get started. We have protocol deviations topic for today. And with that, you know, we are going to be having, this discussion, which itself is going to be a lot while you are actually working on the study. There are going to be different opinions about, recording protocol deviations. Like, sorry, there are going to be sites who are reporting certain deviations, some other sites would not. There are going to be communications, discussions with the clinical teams, then involving clinical teams to interfere with the other CRAs or sites, and thereby communicating that yes, few of those would certainly need to be reported as deviations, not just recorded on the CRFs. Quite a bit of an information exchange, and then you know it comes to a consensus that yeah, few would be recorded as deviations and few might not as well get recorded. So a lot of it goes around while the protocol deviations are being discussed and recorded. And on that note, we begin with our first slide where it itself says that protocol deviations is the area where lengthy discussions take place between the clinical research staff, data management staff, and the statisticians with the prospective definitions. What could be the probable protocol deviations that would be recorded or captured? Today we are going to learn, a guideline. How could be the protocol deviations defined and what would be captured during the trial, and that can be collated together in the final study report. So while it is that all such deviations would be recorded, there is also a necessity of discussions here, because it cannot just happen that some particular site is recording a type of deviation and other site is not, because ideally all this data is together going to form a final study report, isn't it? So for the data to be consistent, discussion is necessary, and that's where you know as the first point itself on the slide says, that is the area where lengthy discussions take place. So while talking about it further, there are going to be limited number of circumstances that might lead to excluding the randomized subjects from the full analysis set, including the failure to satisfy the major entry criteria, which are the eligibility violations. The failure to take at least one dose of the study medication, or any data post randomization, which are the violations of the protocol, which might have an impact on the data and the conclusions. Correct. particularly if their occurrence is related to the study treatment. So now, while all this is being, considered, one of which could be certainly be a part of the deviations, some could be under discussion, or some though deviations, but as per the PI intervention would not be included as a part of the deviations, and the subject would be allowed to continue the study. So, though different criteria, what meets, as one of the primary requirement is that there is going to be a quite a few number of circumstances where the randomized subjects would be excluded. So while this particular scenario would arise, there is going to be a keen observation which is going to be done around that. And that's where the CDM group is responsible for documenting this correlated list of deviations in the DMP nearing the database log. So what happens is there is this list, named the protocol deviations list, coming in from different sites, passed on to the CRAs, and the CRA sending it across to the DMs. So as a lead DM, one is expected to collate all these deviations, though it is site-wise. The entire list for the study level is to be collated and then has to be documented in the data management plan. We have a example of a deviation tracker coming up, right? That's where the protocol deviations are, you know, documented all in one place. Sorry. What comes, along with this as a responsibility to the DM is maintain, this log of the deviations. Like, let's say today, I have received the deviation list for site 12 from the CRA. While saving this file from my email attachment, there is going to be an additional responsibility that in the study folder, when I save this site 12 protocol deviations list, I would certainly need to have the protocol deviations tracker updated, where I'm collating all the deviations received from all the sites. Now I have updated it once for site 12. The next time it comes as an update, let's say 1 month down the line, I get another deviations list. I cannot just copy paste all the information which I have in one file to the other. What I need to check is whether that information is a continuation of the previous file, or is it only the new ones, or does it have the same content as it was sent to me previously. It happens quite a few times. Even CRAs have a lot to do in the same way as the DM has, a lot of tasks in their bucket, right? So I would certainly need to cross check once what is it that I need to copy from one document to the other. Again, in between these months, I might have received, the protocol deviation log from quite a few other sites as well. Let's say 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So by the time I copied, the deviations from other site CRAs which I received into the deviation tracker, which I am collating all the protocol deviations, I might have also looked at some deviations which are the same, know, as per, the deviations which I saw for site number 12. So this might even create confusion for me that I had received this. Was it for site 12 or for some other site? So that is the reason why we use filters in the Excel files, right? To check was it for the same site or for some other site. So while I check this, I'm going to be cross-checking the other informations as well. And certainly by checking that is where I need to go through all the deviations which are already reported versus the new deviations which have come through. So yes, as a shared information between the CRA as well as the DM, I would make sure that all the deviations are cross-checked and well updated in the deviation tracker because it is going to be my team associates who are going to refer this tracker, which is the deviation tracker, while they resolve discrepancies or action the queries. Unless this tracker is updated real time, as in when the updates are received from the CRA, there are high possibilities that few queries might be missed out. You know, a DM associate maybe would cross check and see that no, I don't have any deviation as such. And he would put a comment in the discrepancy tracker, or let's say the discrepancy report, that not any such PD is received, which could be used for resolving this query. But ideally, the CRA has already sent it across to the lead DM. What is pending is that the DM has lead DM has not updated it real time. And at the same point in time, the DM cross-checked with the tracker which was not updated. So there can be a possibility such which could happen where, you know, before communicating it with the lead data manager, if the email is sent across to the CRA where there could be a conflict. So all these would be forming a part of the teamwork where a DM would certainly need to cross-check with the lead DM while they initiate a conversation outside with the cross-functional teams, right? So that's where documenting of the protocol deviations received would play a vital role. So as good as it is that the protocol deviation list is received, it is equally important that the deviation tracker is maintained and well updated in time.